Hi everyone, I have read your informatics papers, your part 1, and provided feedback in the rubric in Blackboard. I'm going to encourage you to go in and to read the feedback that is provided. In general, the content that you all chose to cover was extremely well done. Interestingly, of the 3 scenarios, no one chose simulation. Almost the vast majority of you chose to do telehealth, which I thought would be the one that people wouldn't have that much interest in. So it was really good to see you all try to tackle a subject that is not commonly understood and not really fully in practice in a lot of healthcare centers. So I think it was the content was well done. My primary concern throughout the large number of papers was the lack of compliance with APA formatting. If you look at your rubric that was associated with this assignment, 60 points was related in one way or another to APA, whether it was grammar and spelling or APA headings or your APA reference list or the structure of your paper. All of that is about APA. I want to remind you that when we talk about the APA formatting, we're not just talking about your reference list. We're talking about the whole structure of a paper. Is it professionally written? Is it well organized? Does it flow well? Does it use proper grammar and spelling and syntax? All of those components go into an APA formatted paper. So 30% of your grade in this paper was related to APA. If it's not a skill set that you possess or not something that you've really practiced at fine-tuning, it's significantly impacted your grade. So I'm going to remind you several key steps that have to be in a properly formatted APA paper. It's understood at the graduate level that you should be using proper grammar, proper sentence structure, proper paragraph structure. Additionally, each paper that you submit in your graduate program should use level headings. And it's more than just putting the title of the paper on the top. You need to use your APA book to learn how to use the different level headings to properly guide your reader. It helps organize your paper, and it guides your reader to what to expect in each of these subsections that you write. When you are developing a reference list, I want to remind you that normal published papers encourage that there be a reference in each paragraph. And that's something that you would do if you were going to publish a paper in a peer-reviewed journal. Folks, I do not expect you to have a citation in every paragraph. I would encourage you to have a citation, a relevant citation, in each section. So if you go through and you look at your rubric and you're asked to talk about providing a theory and a framework, there should be a citation about the theory and framework that further explains how you're going to use it. If you're asked to talk about how something impacts the community, you should have a citation about something related to community settings. Each of your primary points needs to have a scholarly source. Now, in this assignment, you had a minimum of 5. If you hit the minimum of 5, that's saying I've done the least amount that's expected of me and I can check the box. It doesn't mean that you've properly cited and properly supported your ideas. So I want to let you know that your goal should not be hitting the minimum sources. It should be finding the best sources to support your ideas. That being said, let's talk for a few minutes about scholarly sources. It's understood that scholarly sources should come from a peer-reviewed journal that is recent, less than 5 years old, and has proper rigor in its research development. It's okay to use textbooks. It's okay to use an occasional website, but those things should not be your primary source of evidence-based literature when you're writing a research paper, and that's what this was. I'm going to encourage you to open up the online library source at the Jerry Falwell Library and use the resources that are available to you. They're going to be the most current and most relevant to the topics that you're covering. I want to caution you that when you find sources, just because it has the right heading and it sort of talks about what you're talking about, you want to make sure that you're not using a source that's an editorial or a commentary or something not really related. Editorials and commentaries are okay to use if you do a combined citation, which means you cite the editorial, but you also cite a secondary source that also agrees with the commentary or the editorial. A commentary or an opinion or an editorial is not substantial enough to support an idea on its own. It's basically one person's opinion, and that's not peer-reviewed, and it's rarely well supported. So, make sure your sources are peer-reviewed, that the majority of them come from your journals, and that they are recent and that they are relevant to your topic. Avoid commentaries, expert opinions, editorials, unless you can further support them with another source and do a combined citation. I know that this feels tedious, and I know that it's frustrating, and I know you're waiting for it to go away, but APA is going to be with you throughout your program. So when you are done, you're going to be an APA expert, or at least really good at it, and you're going to feel more accomplished in your writing. And that's certainly a component of my job here in this course, is not just making sure that you're checking the box with content and that you're understanding it, but that you can articulate and express those ideas properly in a written format. The other thing to note, when you are writing and you're reading someone's work and their work is interesting and you think they wrote it really well, I'm going to encourage you to synthesize what you are reading and to avoid direct quotes. A direct quote, that kind of writing behavior, is an undergraduate writing behavior. It's basically your way of saying, I can find what sounds important and I can copy it into the body of my work. A synthesized idea, you're reading the same content, but you're writing it in your own words, and then you're telling me why you think that author's ideas or concepts or theories are important to what you're writing about. The ability to synthesize new ideas from reading journal articles or reading material is a graduate level behavior, and that certainly should be your goal as you move throughout the program. I know for some of you this may be in the early part of your academic work with a graduate program, so this may be the first time you're hearing this, but I want you to hear it. I want you to avoid direct quotes unless they cannot be avoided. There are a few things that that are quote worthy and you can't say it any better, but that is a zebra, not a horse. So want you to make a special effort to synthesize and paraphrase work. Sorry, that's Madeline. There's a puppy wrestling match going on behind me. You can see tails below me. I want you to really think about synthesizing your professional work and being able to get it into written format so that you can express new ideas using supported literature. Okay, I think that's it. If you have questions or concerns about next week, touch base. Let me know how I can help you. I think next week is it's your exam too. Remember that there's a time limit on your exam. Once you open it, you need to finish it and you need to submit it on time. If you have questions or concerns, guys, know that I'm here. If you read feedback and you're concerned or you don't understand the feedback, I don't want you to hesitate to send me an email and say, Dr. Hudgens, I'm not sure what you mean by this, or can you clarify this, or if you don't agree, we can talk about this. My goal here is to help you grow as a writer and to understand content in a way that you can properly demonstrate that in an academic setting. So know that I'm here. I hope you guys have a great week. Touch base if I can help. And Madeline and Gracie say goodbye. Y'all take care.